Yeah, it's been clear. Yeah, it's been clear, everything, even from that side. Yes. We're moving thoroughly. No one can stop us. No one can fight us. Today we're going to engage thoroughly on serious politics and on the reawakening of youth. Young people in every structure, even in every civil organization. Today we are going to question our principles. We are going to question our way of living, our way of surviving as young people in this system of the 2000s. Many of us as young people, we are born. We are born in utmost poverty with a question that we ask ourselves. What is freedom? What is freedom when we are born with all of our mothers belonging in the working class, surviving from hand to mouth, mouth to hand, living with minimum wages, not being able to necessarily even afford food, having improper water? What is freedom? When we are born in a kasi that you don't even know what the name of that kasi means. For an example, majority of our young people born in Alexandra, some of them, we do not know who was this woman called Alexandra and why that place was made Alexandra Township. And for what reasons, why did we suffer? Alexandra was named after the wife of this Papa Puss. This white person called Papa Puss. She named that town Alexandra. Our people are suffering in Alexandra. But yet again, there's a smaller yana, some sort of market there. Wow, people used to work hard and hard labor. But once again, that is not the issue. Papa Puss named that place Alexandra with the name of her woman called Alexandra, Papa Puss. So, as that place, it was a separated farm. And for us to get that place, it was a favor, because white people did not want to stay in Alexandra, because Alexandra was not a suitable place for them. So now it became like Sophia Town. It was given to our brothers who they call colored. And they are not colored, they are called. But that is not an issue. They gave it to our people, and our people as well, they stayed there. In hard times, discriminated and violated in any way. What is freedom? When we as young people are not given a voice, we are not able to project ourselves in any way. We are represented by old ideas. Old ideas are representing young people. When we are young people who are here to bring radical ideas, new ideas, we are not here to say you must continue to use your old phone, use a smartphone. We are here to create, bring new things. For an example, what is freedom when you go there to the, what you call is a parliament, and they call themselves honorable? They are not honorable. There is nothing honorable that they are actually doing there. Our people are going there to debate laws that they can't even amend, laws that they don't even have the power to amend. It's like a debate. Well, today we are going to say our kids is a bill. For an example, they just introduce a bill. Our people will no longer get food at 6 o'clock. They will now get food at 10 a.m. in the morning. For an example, that's a bill. And then you have our people seated in different political functions. They are going to debate. Other one is going to raise their hand and say, hey, me, I don't believe this thing must not be done this way. Me, I don't believe this thing must be done this way. But at the end of the day, the bill will still be amended. The rules will still be set in place. What is freedom? When our young people are exposed to media that teaches them about pornography, whereas pornography screams around the way. Our social media platforms, they produce nothing but suicidal sexual behaviors that limit our young people, that expose our young people to sexual means, that expose our young people to seriousness of crime, that makes our young people how they should dress, how they should speak, how they should walk, and how they should see themselves successful in this life. It is all decided in the social media. The social media decides our lives as young people. We as the 2000s were faced with such crimes. What is freedom? What is freedom? We question that once again. What is freedom? And where is freedom? It is not the reason that our young people do not want to fight. Our young people are caught up in corners, in situations whereby they have to fight. But in order for them to fight, is that we have to change what we are teaching them. What we are feeding our young people is the result of what our young people are. The system has not done us any better. It has taught us crime before we created crime. It has given us diseases as young people before we had diseases. It has killed us, put us in correctional centers, made us to believe that we are criminals, we are offenders, and we do not belong in the society of today. It cannot be just. So we are moving. No one can stop us. No one can fight us. As we tackle again, we must understand, young people, number one again, the introduction of drugs. The introduction of drugs and biochemicals that have been introduced ever since the 1976 uprising took hold. These drugs, they were introduced by a doctor who was white, primarily, Dr. Bosavan. If you are going to look thoroughly, you can check that doctor anywhere and look into our school history books. Some of them, but I bet you won't find them. But in other schools of socialists, probably you'll find them there. Dr. Bosavan, he is one amongst the other doctors who were leading a project to introduce drugs. And what do I mean when I say drugs? I mean substances. I mean water. I mean a smoke. I mean anything that you take into your system and it does not make you operate like a human being. You start to have extra powers. You start to see beyond we see. As we see, but we know you don't see like us. But once again, that is not the issue. The issue is that I am explaining what is a drug. Those were drugs, is the substance. So Dr. Bosavan, amongst other doctors, were aimed at introducing this biochemical or chemical program, it was aimed at disorganizing our young people. 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 We must go back to history once again. During the 1976, there was a lot of aggression. Ibutho belilwa. Nangizwisisa. Besilwa. Ilutsha belilwa. Athi babasho. Kore bowuliwa. We're fighting. Young people were showing aggressive signs because of the June 16 uprising that took hold, that popularized the idea that down with Afrikaans as the systematic language that will make us lose our identity as young people. But we must also remember that our young people in June 16, they were not only fighting Afrikaans. We were fighting the Bantu educational system that still exists even today, that teaches us to be workers, that teaches us every day to slave, that teaches us that every day we must live hand to hand and mouth to mouth, living in poverty, in unshamed poverty, whereby we are degraded by our own means. But once again, we are still tackling thoroughly what these drugs were aimed at. As Dr. Posavan was introducing these drugs, young people had a lot of aggression. So the aim of the Dr. Posavan drug operation was that we want to disorganize these young people who are now being politicized. They are now starting to think different. They are now starting to agitate. They are manje sebafuna ukulu. Manje sebacabanga ngenye indlela. Ukuthi sibenza njani ukuthi bacabange ngenye indlela kodwa. Base ukuthi lawo Dr. Posavan, when they introduced these drugs. Now these drugs were aimed at making our people to be non-aggressive. Bangasalwa. Ukusho ukuthi when they take these drugs, they no longer think about politics. They no longer think about their land. They no longer think about their histories whereby our grandfathers have been shot, murdered, brutalized, whereby our grandmothers have been murdered and crucified and brutalized and stripped all of their identity. Where our mothers today, they are slaving and they are still up to slave and they are teaching us slavery, indirectly and directly. That is what the aim of the drugs was for young people. And when it came to young people, it had no mercy. It stripped upon the hearts of young people, leaving them with no dreams. Our young people no longer dreamed. You see them every day. But once again, we are still trying to tell you the aims of the drugs. So when the aims of the drugs became in a very much popular manner, this is exactly what happened. Dr. Posavan was very much successful. Such means of the drugs that were introduced were main drugs. Main drugs now started to being supplied in South Africa. Drugs such as heroin were started to being supplied in South Africa. Cat, all kinds of drugs. Wunga, clue, even these ones, any kind of drug that you even see today. It is not that these drugs, they are just here, they were made here. They were made disturbingly to disturb us as young people. We must see them as a political threat. We must see them as a direct threat to our people. We must see them as a threat of capitalism that wants us to be non-aggressive and destroy our brothers. You see them every day. Our sisters and brothers are captured in these drugs. Majority of us who are poor and in poverty, we cannot do nothing much but to live up for these drugs. We buy them, we kill for them, we go to prison for them. We even slay anything that will do for them. And most importantly, we even kill ourselves for these drugs. So those drugs were introduced at the aim of destroying our people, and especially young people, so that if there are no young people, there's no revolution. If there are no young people, there's no revolution. If there are no young people, there is no revolution. We move back again to the second point, the introduction of prison. The introduction of prison to our people. We must understand that the introduction of prison to our people here in South Africa came during the apartheid, even before apartheid it was there. But it was not controlled by us, because our people, we never believed that putting people in a room together and making them stay there for 20 years and release them on the 21st year will not solve the problem. Because you cannot group people who do the same thing, who do a bad thing together. What result are you carrying? So we must understand what the prison system and the correctional service was introduced in our country, in our living, beautiful country. It was introduced because our people were fighting apartheid. Because when the white people came in, even before white people came in, the Chinese were here. But that is not the issue. Now we are focusing on white people. Because they came here and then now started infiltrating. They came here with churches, missionaries. They came with missionaries and they came with mercenaries. Missionaries and mercenaries. Missionaries, they are churches. Missionaries, they are soldiers and bombs and diseases. They came with all of that to disturb our people and derail us from the real movement of living for nature. Because we are nature people. We live with nature, we respect nature. So when they came here, they came with the aim of decolonizing us, stripping us away from our identity, making us speak such languages, making us lose ourselves, making us lose our traditions and cultures, making us lose our surnames, making us lose our names, making us lose one important thing that identifies us as human, which is our spirituality. But once again, when they were able to achieve that objective, our people became the ones to fight them. Those of our people who fought white people had to be placed in prison. So that is why prisons were created. Prisons were created to stop our people from pursuing the revolution. Prisons were created to stop our people from gaining the real freedom. And the real freedom is the freedom of land, is the freedom of education, is the freedom of education that liberates you as a human being, that makes you live up with nature. So that is why prisons were introduced. Living up, we were dominated by democracy. So democracy introduced crime. Now that's a different level of revolution. Crime now is a different level of revolution. Crime now is a different level of revolution. When crime came about, the prison system and the justice system had to go about and deal about with crime. Because crime, in real sense, is this. The capitalist system, it protects the powerful and the rich. The capitalist system of South Africa and the democracy, it protects the poor, the powerful and the rich. And then it gives limited opportunities to the poor. So in that way, the